Hey guys, before the video starts, I just want to let you know that all three of my books, Powerless Book 1 Potential, Powerless Book 2 Imagination, and Powerless Book 3 The Academy, are all on sale now at Amazon.com. If you want more, please message me on Instagram or Facebook, Powerlessbybr, and I can get a signed copy shipped out to you. Now,
All
Next
right.
topic,
All right.
we're
I
gonna we're
like
gonna
it.
jump back on Marcus with this one
Mm.
because he already alluded to it. Black men ignoring pain of the black woman and black men having their pain ignored.
Mm. Mm.
it's,
Yeah,
Read that topic one more time so I can
Read
get
it
my
one more
thoughts
time.
together.
it's a two-part, baby.
you know,
Mm-hmm.
Black men having their pain ignored by black women and black men ignoring the pain of black
pain of a
women
black woman.
and then having their pain ignored by black women.
Um, I generally don't think that black men ignore the pain of black women. I would say, this is me just trying to spitball it. Um, black men, we see it, you know. But like we all know, all black men are not the same. Some black men just don't care. The other black men, they maybe care too much, and then you have some other black men that they girls, they can kind of see when the girls are full of shit. So it's so many sides to that question. Now with black women ignoring the pain of black men, um, it's the same thing because god damn, this one fucking with me.
It's a good one. It's a good one. It
It
can
is
go
it's
so
a
many
good
ways.
ass one. It's a good ass one. It's definitely the vulnerability. God damn, I fucked that word up. Being vulnerable is definitely how vulnerable you are with your person. Um, some black men we don't want to be as vulnerable as other black men because dealing with the people you dealt with in the past, they're gonna use that against you. You know, say you ain't got money for your lights, you ask your girl for some money, and then a couple months later, you a broke ass nigga. You know,
Mm.
so
Well,
the pain is there. All black men ain't ignoring it, but we just being careful.
okay, so you mean like we're being careful with our pain or being careful like crossing a minefield to see somebody else's pain or something like that.
Right. It's like you tiptoe into it.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah,
You ain't trying to
it's
believe.
it's
Yeah.
I being careful because you don't want to get burnt in the end.
Boom.
Okay.
Simple as
Adrian,
that.
Go for it.
I agree. Simple as that, man. Listen, automatically I'm a brick wall. Like I don't show emotion. And still to this day, 2 years in, my girl tell you right now, it's still hard to get stuff out of me. I mean, that's just I've always been like that. You know, just like you say, I don't want you to sit there and turn around and use my pain on me. Like, no, I don't want to hear that shit. If I tell you something, I tell you something. That's because it's on my mind. I feel like I could have let you know that, but for you to sit there and go throw it back at me, like, no, I don't play that. So, and then me or us as black men ignoring the pain of no, it's not that. I mean, just I could say personally with me, it's been sometimes where I've let a woman to sit there and tell me anything, and I'll sit there blatantly with a blank look on my face, like, get over it, fuck it, you know. Hey, it's just how I was. It's how I adapted to my pain at a time. You know what I'm saying? It just comes to a point
Hell
in the
yeah.
time. You come to a point where you just say, fuck it. Like, it's either win or loss. Like, you don't even look at it as pain anymore. You know, it's almost to a point now at funerals, I don't even cry anymore. I'll fuck. I cry at funerals. Fuck it. I ain't telling
God damn.
no woman no lie. Yeah.
Oh,
So
Mm.
it's just how some people adapt to their pain. They choose to tell it, they choose not to. You know, you just got to give that person time. You can't just expect them to be quickly opened up to just telling everything.
Okay.
Can't tell let the women know.
Jarrell?
All right.
Damn, hop to me. Jesus. As you said before in the beginning of the show, my female friends come to me for advice. And usually after they get hurt. Usually after. And I'll sit there and listen. I don't ignore their pain. I hear you out and I give you, some reflection. And sometimes they right back dealing with the same dude and get hurt again. So
That's the shit I don't understand.
that's shit I don't understand. So after a while, after I keep advising you, I started getting numb to your situation because you keep putting yourself back in that. So, keep doing something over. What do you say? Keep doing something over, expecting a different result.
Sanity.
Is the exact definition of insanity. So you driving yourself crazy, and I'm trying to help you out, and you won't listen. So I'm not ignoring you. Right now, I'm just letting you go through your shit, so maybe you can learn on your own, like I did. You're not listening to me. So I don't ignore my women. Personally, me. I don't know how every other man process it.
Because you got a stable?
Shut up.
I'm
I
fucking
ain't got no stable. Ladies, don't listen. I ain't got no
I'm messing with you. I'm just fucking with you.
I'm a single good man. Goddamn it, don't do that. I just, if you put yourself through certain situations expecting a different result, you're gonna get the same shit you always get. You have to change it up. Adapt. I'm not gonna, ignore you. Get advice if you don't listen. That's so on, so be it. That's you. You want it hard head. It's a soft ass. So, but was it ignoring men pain? Women ignoring men pain?
Yeah.
See, well, being raised by a single mom, I got told a lot to suck it up.
Man,
I wasn't allowed to cry.
There you go.
Suck it up. That's always what we're told. Men are not allowed to show because that makes you what? Less of a man for some reason in the community. And this is what all comes to I think everybody in the Black community needs a therapy, like needs a therapist. See, some of this shit we really program ourselves to believe that men are not allowed to cry or show emotion, and which you should. It's a healthy thing. I gave you emotions to show. You know what I'm saying? It's a healthy thing to get out. So you internalize these things and then you put it onto someone else. It causes dysfunctional relationships and everything else. So ignoring, they put it in their sons early, ignoring their pain. And we develop into dysfunctional men, and then which gives dysfunctional females. So we're all in this cycle right now. We're doing it to each other. So, but for the most part, I've seen women in Black Lives Matter movement. I see most of them up in the front, standing up for Black men and, standing up for us. But a lot of times they slander us at the same time. So kind of, it's difficult. It's just kind of like confusing.
Catch-22.
Yeah, it's kind of confusing, bro.
Okay. Alfred.
All right. Let's see. Okay, I started off like this. I think a huge part of it is the communication part and understanding how we can communicate. And like, I don't know, like what people mean in this of communication is, but communication is a two-way street. It's the talking part and it's the listening part. If people for some reason think it's just talking, sometimes you just got to sit back and listen.
Right.
That's a big issue between the Black man and the Black woman, is the fact that we it's tension. It's some kind of it's tension always between us when it comes to us sharing. Well, not on our side. I don't know any black, well, I know a few black men that just don't give a shit. They don't care about feelings or none of that shit. But the group of us that do care about our ladies, you know, feelings and everything like that, like, you know, we're we sit down and we listen. We sit down and give feedback. But that's a two-way street, in my opinion. Like I'll piggyback off what Jarrell said about how we were raised as black men in our household. Like it wasn't no crying or anything like that. Like your mom tell you like, man, tighten up or whatever like that, man. And stop all that crying and hold, you know, you a boy and stuff, whatever like that. You ain't supposed to be crying or you ain't supposed to be whining about this or that and third and stuff, whatever like that. So subconsciously, like we grew up holding all our pain, and no matter what it is, it could be some crazy stuff that's going on in our lives, but we just hold it back because we don't want to look soft to nobody. You know what I mean? And I have a problem with that because it messes us up mentally as black men. It causes depression. It causes anxiety. All these different, I call it diseases and stuff or whatever like that, because that's exactly what it is. It's our minds taking over, like our thoughts, our negative thoughts taking over, and our negative pains that occurred in our lives that's taking over our thoughts. And a lot of times, like, you know, like black women always talk about, you know, the thugs and, you know, niggas ain't shit. Like that's the favorite line right there.
Yeah.
But I always look at why is he a thug, or why is it this nigga ain't shit? Like, you get what I'm saying? Like, what happened to him to make him be like that? Like, it's a lot of situations that happened to me when I was younger or in my young adulthood that could have deterred me from the path that I am on now. Like, I could have been one of those dudes. Like, I've been cheated on before. Like, I could have been one of those dudes that, like, okay, I'm gonna be a dog ass nigga. Like, you know what I mean? But I chose not to go that route because I don't want anything or anybody jeopardizing who I truly am. So the communication needs to change between the black woman and the black man. It needs to be more listening and more feedback and more willingness, more openness with the conversation and stuff, whatever like that, on the black woman part. You know what I mean? And then just besides our parents raising us and stuff, man, another thing that kind of contributes to us holding in our emotions and what we're thinking about mentally is our community. You know, as you know, a lot of you guys, you know, y'all grew up in y'all communities and stuff, and I know it's some guy like you know, you fall, you playing ball or playing some football or something like that, some street football or something like that, and you fall and bust yourself up and you shedding some tears, and hey man, get your ass up, man, let's go. You know what I mean? They don't even ask. They don't even ask about the broken leg that you got.
Walk that shit off.
Walk it off, baby.
Walk that shit off.
Yeah, I just think, man, as black men, I think that we need somebody that's gonna care and want to care and listen to what we gotta say. We got a lot to say. It's just that we gotta feel comfortable with that person and telling that person, you know, all our deepest insecurities and all that good stuff, or whatever like that, man. But that's pretty much it.
Okay. Ferrante.
Right. Yeah.
So, in regards to the first subject about not listening to black women's pain, I do agree with the idea that that is a misconception. And I speak for myself. I always am going to want to help and listen. My thing is, and I think other guys can attest to this, like if you're going to give advice, you're going to give advice that you think is going to work long term. And sometimes I've known women who immediately is going to rebut that. You know what I'm saying? It's like, I'm trying to help you with your pain. I'm trying to give you advice that's going to help you. But immediately you're like, I don't want to hear that. Okay, let me go ahead and step right on back. Because if you don't want to hear what I got to say and I'm trying to help you out, then I'm not going, you know what I'm saying? Let me try to find somebody who will. Let me be humble enough to find somebody who will. You know what I'm saying? So sometimes I feel like it's not us hearing your pain. It's the fact that you don't like our response to your pain. You know what I'm saying? You don't like what we have to say about it. Like, because it's not gonna be. My answer to you getting cheated on is not gonna be go shoot the dude. No, that's not gonna be the answer I'm gonna give you. That's the answer you want. It's not gonna be the answer you get.
Go key his shit.
Go to his job, girl.
Go to his job, show up, turn the fuck up, don't give a fuck how you act, girl. You let that nigga know.
You gotta let him know who the bitch is, girl.
No, mine is like, okay, you
Pull a Janet Jackson and why'd I get married too?
pick yourself up, find somebody else, and you learn from that mistake. They don't want to hear that, and I think that's not like, I think that's just I guess a communication issue. So I feel like that's one of the things. As far as Black women ignoring our pain, it really comes down to what everybody else said. We are really bad at showing it. And I am a key example that I can always remember, again, childhood stuff. Growing up to about 8 or 9 years old, I was a super crybaby. I'll be honest with it. I cried about everything. I'd go to my mom and I'd be crying about everything. And my mom would get tired of it. I love my mom to death, single mom. But I remember one time I went to her crying about my cousins, and she turned her head and let my cousins beat the shit out of me. And never again. I was like, nope, this emotion thing's for the birds. It's us. So I can understand why it's really easy to hold that stuff, because you do get taught a lot that being strong means you suck it up. You don't show that. You're a man, be a man. And that's a whole different conversation about women telling men how to be men. Okay.
Well, I'm going to bring that up in a second.
But I think that, yeah, we didn't work on that. I feel like it's healthy to get therapy. I've actually been to therapy. I will say that we do have no problem bringing up the emotion that we actually need to rein back in. We have no problem being angry at women. We need to work on that, bring that one back, or at least controlling that one. You know what I'm saying? I feel like maybe y'all can agree, maybe y'all can't, but it's super easy that when you get angry to want to project that anger on somebody and not the weakness part of it. Got to work on that part. But as far as like the insecurities and trying to show that, it's a work in progress. Because it's not even just Black women, it's society. Society thinks that men should be strong and not have these personal issues. And I like to say, again, I'm in the Army. That's double. Like, no, you are the weakest dude in the world if you have any mental trauma. It's just the way it is.
Right.
So it's a narrative that we need to change, because there's nothing wrong with therapy. Therapy makes you a stronger person. It makes you more open to be able to have these conversations. So I would definitely say it's not. Well, let me not. Sometimes Black women can have that, because I have also had the occasion like y'all do where you open up, and then in an argument 2 months down the road, guess what? Whatever you just open up is getting thrown back in your face. So yeah, it's a trying time. I would say the biggest thing I can say about that is Black women, listen to us and be accepting, but at the same time, Black men don't understand that the healing process isn't going to necessarily involve women taking your pain as well as you want to, but you're healing by getting it out. So,
well, I'm gonna take it back and say that the way I feel about it, I think it stems mostly from your environment. You know, me personally, I was raised around nothing but women, you know, so they try to raise me in the perception of how they think men should be raised. You know, a man should play sports, a boy should do this. I don't give a shit about sports. I still don't like sports to this day. I couldn't name 5 sports players. I can't. I really can't.
You can't.
But the perception of all boys should play sports, boys should do this, should do that. It was daunting, because I'm the oldest of 9. I had my little brothers. I had little sisters. They had no problem raising the girls because they were raising them from their experience as a woman. But raising a young man from your experience as a woman, you would raise him from the men you've seen. And if the men you were around weren't shit, I mean, there were aspects that you would try to avoid. They would still kind of seep in because you would talk bad about that thing. You would talk bad about those aspects. But you might be drawn to those aspects, and the kid keeps seeing those aspects around. Now, me personally, my father figures were my uncles. I have uncles who were raised that way too, to believe this is what a man does. It's in our DNA to do this. This is something that you should know to do without even thinking about it. I remember being a kid in New York, walking with one of my uncles, and every time you see a woman, it was some gross shit to come out his mouth that I just didn't understand. I remember walking with this cat, and he would see a poster of Lisa Ray, and this shit still runs through my head. He said it was his son with me, my cousin with me, and he was a kid. And he said some shit like, "Man, my nut would just drip right out of her." I was like, "What kind of shit is that?" Like, but nigga, we waiting on the subway. Like, you don't have to like.
I don't want no
I
mayonnaise
hate
on my son.
I hate the I hate the
Your uncle a real one.
overcompensating. I hate the overcompensating man. Like the man who's afraid to hug someone or admit that a puppy is cute or some shit. Like, and that's what all was in my family. Because I've come from the country, Crunchy, Charleston, South Carolina. We couldn't be soft. Even the gay men couldn't be soft. Like my cousin is flamboyant, could not be soft. Family knew he was gay, didn't care if he was gay. They were very tolerant. You just couldn't be a soft black man. I don't care what you love. You can't be soft. You need to be hard. So is that too. And I was always trying to go against. I was a contrarian, so I always went against the grain. I love things that they didn't like, things people told me not to do. I would always try, and I think that's why I'm as weird as I am. And like, to get a little personal with y'all, I have manic depression. I went to therapy. I used to take meds, and it got to a point where I didn't want to take meds because I felt like it was a crutch. Like I should be able to manage my emotions by myself without the help of pills and stuff like that. So like a year after being prescribed medication, I stopped taking them, and my depression lasted for like months, and I just ignored it, which is something you should not do ever. And it was a horrible feeling it was a 6-month depressive mood that would not go away. And I didn't want to talk to anybody about it. I didn't think I needed help. And I was like, I spent most of my nights like legit just laying in bed, staring at the ceiling fan, tears running down my eyes for no reason. Don't know why. Because I was afraid to bring it up to people and talk about it. Now I'm more open to discuss when I'm in a mood or feeling some type of way. I still hold on to the fact that I don't need medication to do certain things. But as far as a black man now, I feel like I can open up to just anybody, black woman, without being judged. I think that's what we all want, is to be able to open up without being judged or taken advantage of or laughed at or ridiculed. Because being a man doesn't mean being any less of what you see. It's just my truth as a man. Me being a man is different from all of you being men. It shouldn't be just one thing. So that's how I feel about it.
So I want to add something because I just thought of something, right? You said something about the parenting part, right?
Yeah.
I think this I think this is an elephant in the room that that we need to talk about a little bit more. Is the fact that I'm gonna be bluntly honest, right? Forgive me for this, but it needs to be that masculine energy in that house. Like it needs to be a man raising a boy. Like it needs to be said. Like it's. I don't want to say that a woman can't because they shown that they can raise a boy, but you can't raise them to be a man. You can raise them to be a boy, like as children and stuff, whatever, like that. Moms and stuff, like they call to you and you know tend to your every need and everything like that. That's what a mom's supposed to do and stuff, whatever, like that. Where the balance gets thrown off at is when a woman trying to raise a man, and I think that where a lot of issues and stuff come come in at. And going, I want to say one more thing before we change topic too, with the anger part. Someone that mentioned about black men being angry and stuff or whatever. I think that stems from just holding all of that emotion and everything inside or whatever like that, and like with me and stuff, what helped me and stuff, whatever. And I'm pretty sure this will help you too, Brandon. Like you write and stuff, and that kind of like uh that's like the solution to whatever it is you going through and stuff. That
Helps you
what makes
vent.
you feel. It makes you cope with whatever you going through or whatnot. Like I think we need to, as black men, we need to challenge ourselves more, and getting into activities and stuff that we like to do and stuff, whatever like that. That kind of take away that pain and stuff, whatever like that. Rather it's like I smoke weed and stuff, whatever like that. And read. That's what I do. I roll up a nice one and I just read a nice book or whatever like that, man.
Like
And
that
that kind of
mind.
take me away from any problem that went on that day. I feel fresh and brand new and stuff when the next day comes. So we just getting into something that kind of helps cope with that pain. Um, just in case your partners, whatever whoever partner you dealing with, ignore your feelings, or you feel like you're being ignored or whatever like that.
Okay.
Or calling up a friend too. That always helps.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Huh?
Hold on. I wanna add something.
Go for it.
I I I don't agree that a woman can't raise a man. A woman
Okay.
definitely can give a lot of feedback and do her best to raise the man that she wants her son to be. Um, I will agree that, a woman doesn't know what it's like to be a man, so she can't raise a man the same way a man would raise a man. Um, but we do have a good bit of women out here that's doing the best they can under the circumstances that they are in to raise their son, and then you got to dig deeper into that. Is like, why are they raising the son themselves? And it can be, maybe the dad really didn't want anything to do with his son. And then the other thing is the woman not letting the dad be a dad, which, um, and I can be vulnerable with you guys and anybody that will watch this. My youngest daughter, I have two kids, both girls, both different moms. Because of, I'm not even gonna say mistakes with things I did in my past. I shouldn't have been doing what I should have been doing, but I got two girls out of the deal. My oldest mom, she's cool. My daughter's here with me right now. My youngest mom, she didn't want me to be a father to my daughter. Um, and I can see I'm gonna wrap everything up. I promise you, I'm gonna wrap everything up. But
Man.
but
Take your
I
time, brother.
definitely see that women don't really want certain women don't really want their man to be a part of their kids' lives, and they'll do their best to keep the kids away from the dad. So I can disagree that women don't. I can disagree that women can't raise a man to be a man, but I can agree at the fact that maybe it's their fault that they have to do it that way. I know it doesn't really fit into this topic,
No,
but
go for it, man.
Oh, yeah, go for it. Go, yeah.
but that's kind of where it is. But as a black man, you should always want to be in your kid's life. Like it takes lawyers. You know, if you're dealing with the situation, I had to deal with some lawyers to make sure I got the rights for my daughter. You know, because I want to be active in her life. You know, and you man enough to lay down in there. You man enough to bust one off. Man enough not to wear protection. Be man enough to take care of your child.
All right.
You should not, as a man, you should not want your son to be raised just by the mom, because the mom is going to be biased. So that's the part I can agree with women can't raise men, because the mom will be definitely biased, and she will say, "Yeah, your daddy ain't shit. He ain't been here this long. Da 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 da. He don't want nothing to do with you." The whole time, she keeping the dad away from the son. You know, you're not paying child support. You can't see your kid, which that was the situation I was in. But I'm paying
Yeah.
child support. She just didn't want me to see her. So that's where I can kind of disagree. Because women are biased as hell. That's just how it is. They want their son to be the man that they want him to be. I know, like I said, I know it don't fit in, but that's just something that I wanted to
No,
throw in there.
that goes back to what I was saying too, man. Like, it's all about how a woman will raise their son to be what they think a man should be. Don't raise your son to be what you think a man should be. Just raise your son.
Right.
And that's my thing, you know? Like, your son is going to turn out good or bad by the choices you make raising him, you know? I see so many people try to, like, stop their kids from being gay or something like that by forcing them to watch a bunch of heterosexual stuff or telling them it's wrong to do this or that. That's going to push them towards it even more. Like, as a kid, I was forced to go to church every Sunday. And people ask me why I'm not a Christian. It was because I was forced to go to church every Sunday. I mean, like, dead ass. I have people who love Christianity, who are into it, and that's them. But that's because they loved it. I hated every second of being forced up on Sunday. I hated having to go 4 times a week. I love the church family that I had, but there's been some things where I didn't approve of certain things that they did in the name of Christianity and stuff like that, and didn't understand, which kept pushing me away. But it's the same concept, man.
Feel that in my heart. I really do.
I'm sorry.
Man.